On today's episode, we are going to take a quick look at Facebook. They just reported earnings after the market closed yesterday, and unfortunately, the stock pre-market right now is down about 3.7%. So on today's episode, we're going to take a quick look at Facebook's revenue and guidance. We're going to take a quick look at their user growth. We're going to take a quick look at their future plans, and finally, just my overall thoughts. So let's get started. So if we jump right into total revenue, the company grew 56% compared to the same time last year, mainly coming from, again, the advertisement side, right? Facebook has two main methods of collecting revenue right now. The number one that collects more than 90% of total revenue is the advertisement, and that was up 56% compared to the same time last year. Other revenue, which includes hardware sales and other stuff, but it's mainly known for its Oculus, the virtual reality from Facebook program, is up 36% compared to the same time last year. So strong growth overall, still revenue up 56%. So if things look super good for Facebook, why is the stock price down? So the first thing is, even though revenue is up a nice amount, certain guidance did not meet expectations. So for example, the Oculus Rift and this other segment was supposed to have somewhere around $685 million. This is what was overall consensus by analysts, and it only reached about $497 million. So that was the first reason people were not excited. The second reason, right, so the company did report free cash flow of $8.5 billion, and this fell short of consensus again, which was about $9.08 billion. The final thing I want to say is this company for the second half of the year, they mentioned growth is not going to be as strong. So I mean, to me, it makes sense why the slowdown is going to happen. If we take a quick look at their overall revenue chart, right, we can see same time last year, Q1 and Q2 of last year, they were really, really low compared to what these two quarters were. So obviously you would expect high revenue growth, but you can see Q3 of 2020 and Q4 of 2020 were super strong for the company, right? This is when things were already, people were, right, because Q1, Q2 were during the COVID situation. Many businesses kind of paused on advertisement, so it kind of slowed down overall revenue for Facebook. But then Q3, Q4, certain businesses were doing super strong on the advertisement side. So they're saying that now Q3 and Q4, they're still going to see growth, and I still expect them to see some strong growth, but it's not the 56% that they saw this quarter. For example, I do want to mention, right, everything, they are seeing strong growth in the advertisement revenue, but they are seeing a bit of a decline in the other segment compared to just last quarter, and this was surprising. I thought it was gonna actually be higher and continue to increase. But I do think Q4 and Q1, usually because it's closer to the holiday seasons, those are the biggest times for even hardware revenue. So it's okay. It's understandable why it dropped. It's up year to year. I wish it would have been a little bit stronger this year. So we talked about the revenue. We talked about their guidance. Now let's kind of jump into this company's user growth. And I do believe this is another reason why the stock price could be down right now. But before we go there, guys, let's take a quick listen to today's sponsor, a great reason why I'm able to provide so much content to you guys for free. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You guys know I love finding new investing tools and resources to help me scout out new growth stocks. And right now I have a discount for one of my favorite services the Fool offers. Through the Motley Fool Stock Advisor services, you get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 new picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock Advisor's average stock picks have done amazing returns. If growing your money is something you'd like to do more of this year, you can visit fool.com/Jose Najarro or click on the link below for access to my special offer and decide if the Stock Advisor is right for you. Thanks again to the Motley Fool, and now onto today's video. So if we start off at Facebook's monthly active users, we can see continue to trend up. And this to me is pretty impressive, especially as some parts of the world are opening back up after COVID. So many investors thought it was going to start to see a decrease, but no, Facebook monthly active users is still seeing growth. The main growth is coming from the rest of the world and the Asia Pacific. It's actually seeing a bit of a decline or a stalemate in some of these more developed countries or countries that it's in. For example, United States and Canada, which I believe were one of the first places Facebook got into. Q2, and Europe, right? So you can see a stalemate there compared to last quarter in the United States and Canada. You kind of see a decrease in Europe. So this has a little bit of the investors' worry, but I do say it's still pretty amazing that the company is still able to provide positive growth on monthly active users for Facebook. The other thing is family monthly active people. This is people using everything from Facebook, from Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp. This is up nice amount quarter over quarter and year over year. So many people are still using Facebook, and it does seem like overall user growth is not a thing investors should really worry about at the moment. And let me say, I do have a position in Facebook, and I was a fan of this earnings. We're going to take a closer look at some of the Facebook's plan in the future, and I'm just going to share my overall thoughts at the end of this episode. So the next topic I want to take a look at is future plans for Facebook, right? Where they want to see their growth. In the earnings call, Mark Zuckerberg talked a lot about the growth that they are expecting to see, and I want to say this is very, very bullish in forms of where I see the company heading. So first is Facebook Business and Facebook Shop. They want to make their overall e-commerce platform a lot more native. So it means that they want to bring most of these shops kind of take you to outside links, and you have to do through third parties. Facebook is really focusing on making everything together inside its platform, so users don't have to leave the platform when shopping. And this overall, there's been many studies and a lot of companies have talked about it, that normally when people end up leaving the main platform or the main website they're in to shop for something else, the chances of them actually purchasing it is a lot less than if they stayed in the main platform. So this is where Facebook is gonna be focusing on in a lot, and this is overall good, right? It's gonna mean stronger advertisement sales as well. Next, Facebook wants to make their payment platform a lot more native, right? Also, which is going to be a lot more stronger. So Facebook Pay wants to become a bigger brand name outside of just being used on Facebook. Next, Facebook wants to also become a content creator master. They want to be a competitor to some of these big names out there. For example, in the past few months, they released stuff like live audio rooms to compete against certain live audio rooms that are happening right now. You also have now podcasts on Facebook. You have Bulletins, which is a platform for example, blog writers. They can go and they can even have a paid subscription on it if they want to. So they are definitely focusing. Facebook also has Facebook Videos, which is doing really well, a gaming streaming platform. So Facebook is definitely trying to become the next content creator place. They recently announced about $1 billion to pay content creators to bring them over and bring more users to the platform. Next, they are talking about the augmented reality and the virtual reality, right? This is still a market that Facebook is super bullish on, and they are really hiring a lot of workers right now for this type of technology. And all this together, Mark Zuckerberg says all these stuff together are pretty cool as individuals, and they're gonna help out the company see strong revenue. But the future goal is to, in the horizon, is to kind of go in the metaverse. So everything that they're working with here, e-commerce, payments, some form of content creation, form of socializing aspect, is all to make the perfect metaverse. And this is not final. This final metaverse world is not here for any time soon. It's something in the far future, but still putting all the pieces together to build a super universe. I think it's super bullish. This is not a reason I would say the stock price would jump in the next few months, right? This is something that would take years and years of work. The final thing they kind of did talk about was their smart glasses, which should be coming out sometime this year. This is the next product coming out from Facebook. So now that we took a look at what happened, let me just share my overall thoughts on the company. So I do like the earnings. I want to say some of the main reasons the stock price is down is we saw that overall monthly active user growth in some of the developed countries that it's been in are seeing more of a stalemate. So that's the first yellow flag. The second yellow flag, I would say, is just the future growth in revenues. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but a 3% drop, right? The stock price is down about 3.5%. I don't think that's horrible, right? This is probably levels last seen a few days ago. If we take a look at Facebook stock, for example, in the past month, 359 was just seen, I want to say on Thursday of July 22nd, so about a week ago. So it's not like the stock price has tanked. There has been a lot of excitement of a lot of other social media companies that just reported earnings. So that could have pushed up the stock price a lot and made investors a little bit too overexcited, and now it's just pulling back. Even though I thought earnings were good, I gave you guys some of my yellow flags. Right now, in form of technicals, I do believe Facebook right now is a bit overextended, even with current prices around 360. This doesn't mean the stock price can continue to go down. It just tells me, hey, Jose, if you want to open up a position right now, maybe it's time to just open up with a small position. There might be better buying opportunities later on. At the same time, I'm a believer that sometimes better buying opportunities never come. So here in the United States, with free trading, fractional trading, it allows me to kind of get into with a small position, get some skin in the game, even if I believe it's a bit overvalued at the moment. But still, long-term bull on Facebook, and that has not changed. I even want to increase my exposure if buying opportunities if there's some buying opportunities in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good night, and see you next time.